Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Functioning Chat with Kettle Kitchen and special guest. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Functioning Chat with Kettle Kitchen. I want to say hi to everybody. I see Joe Fix It For You is in. Thank you for coming in. Rena LaRue, Suburban Hillbilly. Stephanie's in with us. Ginger, Not For Nothing Homestead. Janice, Where to Begin Homestead. Low Family Adventures. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. So what we're doing is a continuation on something we had discussed before. And before I get into that, I am going to bring a very special guest in with us. I'm just waiting for her to be ready with a thumbs up. All right, here we go. Well, hello, Miss Tiffany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Hello, everybody.
I'm sitting outside. If you guys haven't noticed, it's exceptionally warm in the house and even worse outside, but at least I get a breeze. So if it gets too loud, I'll move inside. But for right now, we're going to try it here. We had talked about before how to run a collaboration. And the whole point of this segment series is from start to finish, how would I specifically teach somebody how to run a collaboration? And like we've said before, you'll see Tiffany glance over her head because she's got little chicks trying to do their thing back there. So, this is what I do when I do collaborations. And I think it's important for everybody to understand. I'm not guaranteeing success or failure. I'm not saying it's the only way or the right way. It's just my way. That's what it is. And so I have photo bombers all over the place. Sorry. So the best thing that we can do is, I think, and we've talked about this before, Tiffany is going to be the guinea pig, we'll say, and we're going to run a collaboration, her thoughts, her ideas, and then we'll move forward from there as what the steps are along the way. We're not going to get everything in today. I already know that. There's no possibility to get everything in today. But we'll get what we can in an hour. Next week when we come back, we'll do the same thing. Okay? Does that fit your schedule a little?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing I think is important is why, and I'm throwing you under the bus here. I apologize. Why would an individual want to start a collaboration from your point of view?
For me, it's about, I don't know, seeing everybody's different ideas on something unique.
Okay. Are you waving? Who are you waving at?
Joey. Hello, everybody.
I think the important part of a collaboration is it has to be for the right reason, whatever that reason is. Most of the time for me, it's bringing somebody together with a like-minded idea to see what different perspectives they have.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So let's go step number one. Before you can even start a collaboration, number one, you have to have the interest in it, which at this point we'll say you do.
Okay.
But we have to have an idea. What is it that we want to collaborate on? So this is a Mach collaboration. I want to clarify that to everybody. I think we need to every
time. This is not real. This is
It's not
not
real.
real.
That's the point. It's not real, but we're
Yeah,
going to play that it is. So
right.
everybody know that. We don't want to get inundated with emails that I want to be a part of X, Y, and Z collaboration. Okay.
Mhm.
That will not happen from here. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Um, but with that in mind, what idea do you have, Tiffany?
Okay, so yesterday, I'm just going to give an example of what I showed you yesterday. So yesterday we went to, I cannot remember the name of the place, but it's like a market where you could buy anything. You could buy squash, vegetables. Well, I am addicted to rubs, to spice rubs. I mean, I will buy them whenever I possibly can. I actually got two of them. One of them is this one, which is apple pie rub. And
Here,
I'm,
let me bring you up so everybody can see that. There you go.
you could eat this out of the jar. It is
I
that
know
good.
humor.
When you open it, it smells like an apple pie baking in the oven. Okay. Never have I ever seen this before. The second one that I got was this one, which is called Spellbound. Well, when I talked to Tony about it, I was like, every ingredient in here I personally have. Okay, I could have made this myself, but not knowing what to come up with. So my idea was Spice September for people to make up their own rub, or yeah, that apple pie rub is unbelievable. I was just like, that was worth the money. Okay.
Yeah,
And I don't know how they did it, but they infused the sugar with apple pie flavoring because
I,
it's
I,
just apple pie, cinnamon, and a little bit of salt, and that's it. So
I
like,
think
what
it,
do
I
you
think
think?
it sorry, I think it probably follows along the same lines of vanilla sugar. You stick
Yeah,
vanilla pods inside it. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go out and slice apples and throw them in their sugar by any means, but that
I
we'll have
would,
to look into that.
I would love to come up. I mean, that rub is unreal. Like you could put it on top of whatever, throw it in the smoker or in the oven. Even if you did apple dumplings or apple pie, hit it on the top with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the suggestion is spice timber.
Okay.
That's what Tony said. Dehydrate the apple peels
Right.
and then grind them up and infuse them with sugar. Oh man, that stuff smells so
Right.
good. So that's my idea.
Okay. So we're going with spice timber, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Hmm.
So now you have the idea. Okay. You
Okay.
now have you jumped ahead on me. So the collaboration name, that was my second point that we needed to address. Now you need a hashtag.
I don't know. How do you come up with hashtag spice timber?
I the simple easy is the shortest version possible is going to make it easier for people to find, locate, or type and remember what the hashtag is. So
Hmm.
I would say spice timber, just what you said, hashtag spice timber.
Spice timber.
Now, there is a question, and I want to throw this out and see what bounce it off of you. There are some people that support putting out spice timber 2023 or 23, whatever version of that. There are some
Hmm.
people that say you limit sometimes the followings of said collaborations. And I'll give you an example. Jam It Up June. My first one I went just Jam It Up June. This year I went Jam It Up June 2.0. But next year I think I'm just going to go with Jam It Up June again because some people said the following will continue. You get people that year, they're going to want to go back to the years before and see what else is done. Okay.
True. That is
So
true.
that's a thought process each individual has to come up with. But
Hmm.
this is your collaboration. So what would you
Hmm.
choose?
Probably just spice timber.
Spice
But
timber.
spice timber. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing to remember when you do A hashtag. Don't you? And I messed up. Others have messed up. Michelle went through one where she had to revamp a whole hashtag because you can't use symbols or punctuation marks or anything like that. You can't use spaces, underscores when you do a hashtag because the link won't take those items. So
Mm,
it's all squished together, one word, lowercase, whatever it is. In this case, it would be hashtag spice timber with no hyphens or anything in it. So,
okay.
all right. So now we move on to the next thing, and then we'll come back and we'll take questions, see if there's any questions.
Okay.
Um, and this is always the harder one: the when, the where, the how. Okay, that's three questions, but it's not really separating each of them theoretically. It's when do you want to do it? Which one fits your schedule as well as others that you can think of? And how? How long are you going to do it for? So that's always, like I said, the hardest part to me
Right.
because you know that there's other collaborations out there. You know that there's other things going on. You know what your theoretically, you know what your own schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do something. Let's just do, for example, if you're somebody who gardens a lot and happens to have 150 tomato plants in, you're not going to want to set up a collaboration right in the middle of your major harvest time
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to be overly busy. Okay.
Right.
As well as the other people out there are theoretically going to be overly busy. What does tend to work most of the time, let me do it the other way. The worst times to do collaborations from my experience and knowledge are June, July, and August because those are heavy gardening, harvesting, planting, whatever else. People are out on vacation, they're out at the lakes, you got holidays, those are the hard months. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's a tendency for a collaboration to be more successful if it's done September through the flow back to May. Now, is that always? No, because like jamming up June, jarred up July, those are ones that we're doing, but they were things that could be done that didn't take a lot of time theoretically was the thought process. So you're going with the month of September though, because of what you called it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And are you the singular host would be the other question.
Probably not.
You what?
I don't like to do stuff by myself.
That's
No.
funny. So then I would assume you would want to notify said person, whoever that is, or people, so that they're aware of it. You've gotten a yes or no, they can do it or not do it. Then you have other alternatives to look elsewhere if you need to. You must be getting a lot of noise in the background there.
Yeah. I'm just waiting on this baby chicken to come out from under her wing
Oh,
because she just
hiding out.
keeps sitting up. Like, are you going to help me?
Right,
So,
right.
yes. Okay. So if I did it by myself, I wouldn't have to notify anybody.
True.
But if I wanted a partner in crime, then I would have to notify them.
And we all know there's one floating somewhere around there.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
brings up another valid point, though, too, for people to consider.
Hmm.
There's Mud and Mascara. There's
Hmm.
Not For Nothing Homestead, and there's Muddin' For Nothing. Which
Yeah.
channel is going to do it would be the also obvious question. Yeah, you could do all three of them, and I'm not saying you can't or you can. I'm just saying those are things to remember.
Hmm.
Which channel do you want to host it out of?
It would
Then,
probably be my channel at this point. I don't think you could do a collab.
LOL, she's funny. She
Yeah.
cracks me up. So in the
But
how part, okay, so you got the when, you
hmm
got the where. Let's assume it's Mud and Mascara Homestead. You've decided that. Let's assume that. Then the how question, and remember the how question is how long. Are you going to do a 2 week collaboration? You're going to do one video a day. You're going to do two videos a day. Because what you're doing is you're trying to direct yourself into how many channels you want to invite, which is our next question we'll get to.
So I feel like personally myself, I would do that backwards. This is just me.
Okay.
I would figure out how many people, let's just say, I don't know, I sent out 100 emails
Okay.
and got back 10 or whatever, 14 or 10, who cares? Whatever. And then I would make my decision. It's going to be for 2 weeks
Right.
during the day, during the week.
Now, again, this is where one of those things separate. People do things differently. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do see your point as well, because that will establish your calendar. You'll know how many are willing to do it, how many days you need to do it for. I do it differently in that I don't do short ones. I just do
Mm-hmm.
30-day ones. Well, typically I try to do them in 30 days
Mm-hmm.
and then put out your email, see how many you can fill. Because even if you put out 100 emails and say 80 of those people say no, that gives you 20. Now you only have 10 more to fill. And there's always channels out there looking to be a part of a collaboration. But
And
your
then,
way of looking at it is also another possibility. So it really
yeah,
depends on how a person feels comfortable moving forward, which will then tackle the how many channels question as well. So,
right. I guess I'm just somebody that if I send out an email and you don't want to do it, then I'm going to do it based off the people who wants to do it.
and that's a valid point.
Because I don't want to be knocking on people's door. Hey, can you be in my
Yeah.
collab? No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So, and that's just me.
Right.
You know.
So, being that it's your collaboration, I'm assuming that's the direction it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we go into the next one, it's who do you invite? So keep that thought process in your mind. I'm going to go back,
Hmm.
say hi to everybody, and we'll see if there's any questions. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think where I left off, I had said hi to everybody up to, I think I said hello to Bucket List Homestead, but if I didn't, hello again. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa Jukiewicz has joined us, Carlene Vasseur.
That's true.
Everybody saying hi to everybody.
Rena said September is great for this, as a
It,
nice mix of spices make great Christmas gifts. I didn't even think about that.
right.
Girl, I'm thinking about rugs. Rugs to go in the smoker. I wasn't even thinking about giving somebody a gift, but that is very good.
That's a great idea, actually. Okay.
And
Oh, Bert Window's in with us, and Jamie's Country Living also has joined us. I think I got everybody else. Okay, so the other thing is, like Suburban Hillbilly makes sense. People are looking towards the fall, and all the pumpkin becomes the rage at that time. Um, it's nice to throw out a different variation, that's not
hmm
just pumpkin.
right. And Jamie said, always invite more than you need.
And
That's what I
I
was
seen
saying. If
that.
I send out 100, I might get lucky and get 30.
Okay, so then on that comment, let's have that conversation. Let's say you send 100 out and you get 75 yeses. Then what do you do?
I would have to double up.
Right. You already know that at that
Yeah,
point that you would have to
I would
double.
definitely
Okay.
have to double up.
But again, my friend, that only buys you, let's assume it's 30 days in a month. That's only 60 videos. That now means you're
Mm,
going to triple up on half of the month.
right.
So
Mm,
I think people need to keep that in mind when they're thinking about how to do this, because I see both
mm,
sides of the coin, but
mm,
there is a possibility if you're sending out 100, you may get far more than you ever expected.
right.
So,
Yeah. So
Dark
then
Lord Medic,
you would,
sorry, I apologize. Hello to you too, my friend. Sorry.
that's okay. I was just thinking if you did get 75, and then too, I mean, I understand that people have their algorithm and stuff. I'm talking about this from a first time collaborator.
Right.
Um, I have been in many collabs. but it's like, can I have this day? Can I have that day? You know, or this is going to affect this. You know, I understand, like, that's where you come into a little bit of, you know, the scheduling part of it is probably like, I know the collaboration that we're about to do, Tony is the scheduler because I just am like with all that. Yeah.
I think, okay, so I'm going to look at a few things that are being said here. Of course, my comments keep going around. I think if you can, so whenever I send out the email, the invitation email, because I usually will try to send out two emails. One is, here's what I'm thinking about doing. Would you be interested?
Mm-hmm.
Don't have the information other than what the basis of the collaboration is. That information, more information will come later. That first email you sent out gives you an idea of how many channels are wanting to be in it or have said they would. But in that, also dates that you're unable to do or dates that you want to do. And what becomes frustrating is somebody says, well, I want Tuesday because that's my drop day. Okay.
Right.
Well, if you have the openings on Tuesdays, that's fine and dandy. But it could be that another channel picked them out. So I think those that are wanting to join have to be willing to be fluid in those dates that they ask. But as a collaboration host, you try to do what you can.
Yeah. I mean, I would do what I can for anybody. It's just that part is like really overwhelming the scheduling. I've
It is.
watched it before. I've seen Tony do it, and I've heard Ginger do it. I mean, I just, that would be the hardest part.
Right. Bucket List Homestead, she makes a valid point. Would people be, you also have to consider, would people be willing to watch 75 videos? We know from experience, the more videos involved, it's harder to get people to watch all said videos. So that plays a part into it too. So it's finding that happy medium. It's really, here's where my limit is. So know what your limit is. I think that's the best thing to do.
So is it offensive if you send out an email saying, I got 30 slots for this collab? Whoever emails me back first that wants in, you got it.
And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
Because you will find people that will linger forever getting information back to you. Okay. I think that actually, and I'm finding myself doing this. I have 30 days open. I have 28 of those 30 days open. Are you interested? First come, first serve.
Right.
Once those spots fill up, those spots are empty because you know what you're able to do. Because moving down the road as we get to it, one of the responsibilities, and it is hard to do, I'm here to tell you, unless you commit the time to do it, you got to put those videos on a playlist. If you're putting them out on your community tab, you got to remember to have time to do that. Hold on just a second, Patty's leaving. If you have 60 channels, now you've doubled that workload.
Right.
If you have 75 channels, now you've tripled that workload. Okay. So yeah, it's overwhelming to be doing that much because you would be spending all your time just follow-up work. Okay.
Right.
So I think your plan of sending out 100 emails is a good idea. My only recommendation would be, if you want to do no more than 2 videos a day, I wouldn't send any more than 65 invitations out.
Okay.
If you don't fill those, then you have other channels you can still go out and see if they'd be interested that you didn't invite before.
True.
Okay. That's just a recommendation. That's the way I would do it, because I do like the approach of, let me send out, let's see how many we get back. That'll determine what the calendar is going to be. So, all right. So let's.
Now, where am I going to get these emails from?
That is the fun question. And I'm glad you brought that up. There have been people that will, okay, I'm going to try to say this as diplomatically as I can. And I'm not implying Ginger or Tiffany or Leanne Mennonite Farmhouse or anybody else has done it. This is not a reference to them specifically. It's just using them for example. If I send an email out and it goes to Tiffany, including Ginger and Leanne's email, that email I sent out does not give Tiffany free reign to reutilize said email.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've had that happen. Unfortunately, there has been quite a few channels that aren't even part of the group or community that we're all collectively connected to that will try to piggyback emails to multiple channels. Okay. There are some people, and I'll say this specifically, there's some people that do. Hold on, I got a motorcycle going by. There are some people that have done my collaborations, that have done Tiffany's collaborations, Ginger's collaborations, Angela from Inquisitive Farm Wife. I'll stop there, but it goes on past that. They do. Dale and Lisa's another one I'll throw in there. We have 2 or 3 specific channels that will only do our collaborations because they like our style. They like the way we do it. They like the information they get. That's not an open invitation to somebody who's not said of part group that now inundates said people with 3 or 4 collaborations. And they're like, I never opted into this. Why am I getting this email? You don't want to offend those that are specifically joining your collaborations and have agreed to do your collaborations with somebody taking your email list and then spreading it out for their own as well. So to answer the question directly, it's more important that if you want said people, whoever they are, to be invited, you go to their about page, you get their email. From there, you add it to your list.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany and I know this from experience as well as others that are in here. You have to be organized about that part of it. Okay? Because, and what we have a tendency to do is an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc sheet or a spreadsheet from Google Docs. You have to input that information to show here's what this is, here's what this is. They've said yes, they've said no. It'll keep a running tally of the information you're bringing in. Now, that sounds overwhelming to people, but if you want your collaboration to be successful, you have to put the work into it. That's my firm belief. Okay. And Dark Lord Minute just said some of us don't have about pages yet. So you do have to ask in chat, hey, Dark Lord Minute, I'm doing this. Would you be interested? That's another way to get that information. If they say yes, don't put your email out here. You can send them a personal email. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or you could run your email across the banner.
I could on my end, but say Dark Lord Minute's not doing a live, so he would be unable to do that. Okay.
But he could grab yours, right?
Right.
And
that's
say,
what I'm
hey,
saying. He grab my
okay.
email and say, hey, Tony, I'm really interested in XYZ. Can you put my name on the list? Okay, give me an email that I can send the information to, or you want to, if it's not this one. Okay.
Right.
I think that's the important part. And I think really it was a valid question to ask. Where do I get these emails from? Because that is the hard part. I'm telling you from my own experience, it's just hard work to go through and get the list. There's no simple answer to that. Okay. You will have a tendency where, and I just did as a matter of fact, but it's also based on your connections. I was trying to get a hold of a certain individual that did not have their email out on their about page. Okay. This is primary reason why putting your email address on your about page is important, especially if you're interested in doing collaborations, because it makes it easier for collaborator host to do that. Okay. But stepping back a half step, I needed a certain channel's email address. I didn't have it. I reached out to one of my friends. Hey, could you reach out to X, Y, and Z? Ask them if I can send them an email. Would they provide you with the email address? And it's a yes or a no, and you go on from there. So this part of it, in all honesty, aside from the scheduling, this is where the biggest meat of the work comes from. Putting your list together with accurate email addresses, accurate handles. I've even had to reach out in comments on videos trying to get people that I wanted to join, and it does work. Some people don't like that though. So it's just playing a fine line and trying to figure out how to get that information. I'm just stressing, don't copycat somebody else's email address that invited you to collaboration, because I think it almost feels unethical, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Would you
Right.
agree?
Yeah, because the way I would do it is I would get my Google Doc ready or
Right.
my Excel spreadsheet and put everybody in there that I wanted to email and then go to their about page and look for it. That's the way I would do it.
Right.
Because, I mean, it could be considered piracy,
It could
correct?
be, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way I would do it myself. And
I I
so,
I think you also, okay, so there are some hiccups that happen when you do that. Okay. If you run into 5 addresses on your own, say Kettle Kitchen, I'm going to look for channels I've not invited before, I don't have their email address. And I go to about pages and it doesn't list it out, but I can use the view email address
yeah.
part on the about page. You're only allowed 5 of those a day. Okay.
Mm,
But get creative with it, because I also have a personal channel. So now I can get
yeah.
10 per day.
Mm,
Okay.
that's right. I forgot about that view email. I
Right.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
let me ask you a question
yes.
because we're getting ready to do the email.
Okay.
So, would you already announce what you're doing to make claim on that so that, you know, somebody else doesn't run off and do it and then send the email, or send the email first, then make the announcement that, hey, we're doing Spice Timber?
That's a hard question to answer, and I'll tell you why. Okay. The honesty is that when you do a collaboration, and this is something that has evolved over time, so what I'm speaking and how I'm speaking of it is from experience.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few collaborations that are out there that think they own their collaboration rights. Okay. Which
Mm-hmm.
I get it from being a collaboration creator. I get that feeling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But legally, from a law point of view, there's no ownership over a collaboration unless said
Right.
person has went out and copyrighted, trademarked, all that stuff for that
The name.
specifically. But I'm here to tell you, I ain't got that kind of money to put rights on a collaboration. Okay.
Right.
I would venture to say I would get my list together before I say anything to anybody based on experience again. I would put my
Mm-hmm.
list together specifically, and I'm going to say it this way, but it's the easiest way to do, target individuals that I may not have their information to, start
Thank
an
you,
email
God.
conversation with those people as well, and then let's go from there. Okay. With the thought process that I'm going to put the email out, I'm going to send the invitation, and then I'm going to make the announcement. That way, the people you want to invite have been notified they're part of that notification. There
So
are,
send the email out, wait for confirmation, then make the notification. I'm
I don't,
sorry.
I don't know that you have to wait. Once you've sent the email out, that's initiated the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can start putting the word out there that you're doing this, so that it draws attention to it and starts building up what it is you're going to talk about. Okay.
Okay.
In fear of somebody going out there and doing the same thing as what you're doing. And this is kind of why I started the conversation on this question the way I did,
Mm-hmm.
is if I start Spice Timber and all of a sudden, no, let me rephrase it. Spice Timber's yours. You start it, but we're part of a different community. And I go over and start Spice Timber in the fishing community. You have
Mm-hmm.
no legal right to argue with me that it's your collaboration. People are going to do it. That's my point I'm getting to. It's happened.
Mm-hmm.
People do it. People can do it, and there's no legality to stop that from happening. Does it
Right.
look crappy? Yes, it looks crappy. Does it look sinister? Yes, it looks sinister, especially since they were just on your live watching your announcement. I get that,
Right. Mm-hmm.
but it has
Okay.
happened to me, and I've had a couple of people do that to me with my own, and it's like, it is what it is. There's not much you can do about it, you know?
I just didn't know which way to go about doing that portion of it
Right.
because, um, yeah, I mean, do you make? I mean, that was my biggest thing is you're on a live and you're like, this is what bringing it up, Spice Timber, and
Right.
then send out the emails. That's what I was thinking.
I
I
I
didn't know.
think I think the important part is not to say anything until you've gotten your idea solidified. You know what it is. You know what the collaboration is going to be, and you have a list of a theoretical list because a list is evolving depending on who says yes and who says no. But have
Mm-hmm.
a theoretical list of who you want to invite. Get your this is what I'm looking at. Would you be interested? What dates can you not do it if you are interested?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can put your announcement out because now people already know about it. Now it's been sent out to said people, and I don't think I would. The hard part of that is what's your timeline? Are you initiating this now in July, or are you 2 weeks out from a collaboration starting that nobody knows about? That also plays into that conversation.
Right.
Because
Okay.
if you're 2 weeks out, you have very limited time to get people out there. And so you don't have time to wait for responses or yes, I do, or no, I don't, or all that. You have 2 weeks to put a calendar together and actually less time than that because a
Right.
lot of
Because
people don't want to
wait.
start a collaboration, get a notice on the 30th of June, and then start July 1st.
Right.
Now, I
Right.
ran into that problem. Here's another one of those things of what not to do for a collaboration. I got so involved in Jam It Up June, I forgot to get my announcement out for Jar It Up July until it was later on. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt like a bleep, bleep, bleep because
Mm-hmm.
I know that feeling. The collaboration starts tomorrow and you're sending me out the notice today. You know,
Right. Okay.
it depends on life. It depends on staying on top of it. And really, from my perspective, I dropped the ball on that. No harm,
Mm-hmm.
no foul, though, because the channels that were set up
Right.
to go in the first, they were ready to go and had theirs out. So it worked out okay. If it's
Okay.
new, you're going to struggle with trying to get people interested. So you don't want to wait until 2 weeks before. You want to give them as much notice as possible. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Gotcha.
saying that, you also will get responses of I'd be interested, but I have no idea what I'm doing in September. That's 3 months away, 2 months away,
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Mm-hmm.
that is. That does play out. The problem I would go with, or the solution to what I perceive as a problem, I would say, well, at least let me know tentatively you'd be interested so I save a spot for you. Because once the
Right.
spot's filled, you I can't have you come back a week before it's supposed to start and say, okay, I'm ready, I'm here, and then
Mm-hmm.
expect that spot to be there because you've already done all the work. So
Okay.
there's two
Gotcha.
sides to that. So um I see a
Don
couple
Ray
others
B.
have joined us.
Nana. Don
Yeah,
Ray B.
going down my list here trying to see. I said Bert. I did my fix my mess up with Dark Lord Minute.
I wish y'all could hear.
Don Ray B is in, which you already said hi to. Nana 9 Acres, hi. Mimi
Holy shucks.
Dishes, Rhonda's in with us. Hello. All right.
She is
So
cleaning them, Tony.
do what?
She's cleaning one of them. She's cleaning it.
Yay!
Oh my god. I can't believe
Rena,
it.
be careful. That heat is not good. So here's something I want to put up there
Ugh,
because this you also have to deal with what you know your collaborators are used to or like.
me
She
too.
says that she prefers a month notice. That's a valid request by most people that are in collaborations because they have a tendency to schedule out what they're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, all right. So We're at 39 minutes. We've got that much information out.
Mm-hmm.
Look back. Let's stop there in thought process. Okay. As far as moving forward, because what I'd love to do is next week we'll come back and we'll set up the calendar.
I honestly, Tony, think that you should show a Google Doc and
I'm going to.
show, okay,
Yes. Yeah.
because that thing is amazing.
I think you're right. We'll get together later in the week
Yeah.
and we'll just come up with names and we'll put it out there and
Mhm.
we'll show what we in the Mach collaboration. These are the ones that said yes. These are ones that said no. We
Yeah.
sent out X number of emails. This is the responses we got back. We know we need to or we don't need to reach out to other people. And I think that's a valid point. And so what I will show in that document is the lists
Mhm.
as well as how I put together a calendar.
And how to do it, a Google Doc.
That's what I'm saying. In the Google Doc,
The
I'll
whole
show
thing.
how to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Might
I
get
think,
boring, might get repetitive, but at least you'll have an
yeah.
understanding of how it's put together. So,
Yeah, because with the Google Doc, if you did have a partner host, you can share it with them and y'all can both be adding stuff to it. That is what I like about the Google Docs. Anybody
yes.
that's a host has access to it and
Yeah.
you can do whatever. Because sometimes in collabs we've been in before, I've
Yeah.
gotten an email and Tony has not. So I went straight
Right.
to the Google Doc and put whatever in it. And then Tony was able to see it the minute he pulled it up.
Yeah.
So it works very well.
See you later,
Very
Don Ray B. And
high.
please be safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so what questions from the start of what we talked about? Do you have any questions about what we've talked about so far?
I don't know. Your voice just went off the Richter scale.
That's
Oh my gosh. Nothing. It's not coming through. You gotta go out, come in. Okay.
My mic's muted.
There you go. There you go.
And I have an echo, so hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm going to get out of this other one.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't end the broadcast like I did the other night.
That is the whole reason why I will not do a live. I just know I'm going to mess up my. I'd be like 3 times, then shut it down.
Oh well, it's fine. Can as long as the signal stays strong.
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
okay. All
You're
right.
good. Okay. So questions?
Do you have any questions about what we've discussed so far up to this point? That things that maybe you think need to be restated or reinforced, or something you don't know about, something you're lost about that you think fits into this part of it?
So if you have the idea of spice timber,
Mm-hmm.
should you go and try to search that on YouTube before you do it, or just go ahead with whatever you want?
Okay, two trains of thought, and I'm glad you brought them up as well, because it is a valid point. There are people that will go out and they'll do a hashtag search before they even put something together and see if they can find anything. They'll also do a regular search, spice timber, and just see if it's out there. If it's not out there, theoretically you're clear to go, at least as far as YouTube goes. Now there are some places you can go to, and I'll write this down so I don't forget to bring it next week when we talk about it. You can go in.
Good night, Stephanie.
Good night. You can go in and search. It's kind of like when you do a channel name search, you can go in and type in whatever it is you're looking for, and it'll pop up and tell you this is on Reddit, this is on Facebook, this is on YouTube, this is on Instagram, this is on whatever, or it's not, because they don't find anything. It's a good thing to do because it does give you the information whether somebody's done it before, number one. Number two, is the name being used? And then number 3, that steers you in a direction. Do I need to rethink what I'm thinking about, or can I move forward with what I got?
Okay.
Then there's other people that just do kind of like what I do theoretically. I just call it what I want to, and then I move on from there. But
Mm.
because I'm doing more now, I'm finding myself to have to start doing that check. So
Okay.
I think if you get in the habit of it starting, I think it's great because then you've already got a mode and a process down. So
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Hey,
Jamie
Christine.
says, Christine, Miss Gillum Farms, hello. Um, I think I think it's important to number one get your idea down. Once you get your
Mhm.
idea down on what you do, what would the name be? Once you got those two things and even a hashtag to a point. Once you have all that information, that gives you a direction to go and it gives you a searching capability to try to
Mhm.
find is there others like this? Has somebody done it before? But again, like we talked earlier today, not on the live, you may find other channels that have done it. It doesn't mean you can't do it. And if you do
Mhm.
do it, put a different spin on it, you know?
Right. Okay.
So
And then then after all that, next is coming up with your a logo or your thumbnail,
we'll get into
right?
thumbnails, we'll get into logos, we'll get into the transparent logos, we'll get
Because there's
into
like three of them, right? Three
uh,
different ones. You.
yeah, standard on my send out is the rules, the thumbnail, and then two logos. One is a transparent logo and one's a non-transparent logo.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
But we'll get into that. That's later down the road. Okay. So
Okay.
I think what we will do next week, though, is we'll move into the thumbnail.
Hmm.
Actually, we'll move into the logo because you got to have the logo to make your thumbnail. So
Right.
we'll spend the first half next week going over at least how I do the logo. You can
Hmm.
offer your input on how you would do a logo if it's
Hmm.
different than what I do. And then that second half will go into setting up the calendar and all that and showing how to do a Google Doc.
Okay.
Does
Yeah,
that
that
sound
sounds
good?
good. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think people need to see that
I
dot.
do. I agree.
It
I
makes life
see
simple,
it does.
very simple.
Well, and it gives you
Bye,
the knowledge of
suburban
what you're
hillbilly.
going into, you know.
Yeah.
Good night, Suburban Hillbilly. I feel like
Yeah.
it's 7 o'clock. Everybody's saying good night.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, is there anything that seems challenging to you? I mean, does all this seem pretty simple though from the start
I
or not?
mean, I've done them before, so I will tell you that my very first collab was so overwhelming that I was just like, what
The
the
bleep,
heck
bleep, bleep.
did I just get myself into? You know, because that one was huge. And luckily for me, it was such a huge collab that a small collab, a 30-day collab with 30 people or 60 people is probably nothing.
That's small peanuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just chump change. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but as far as I mean, I don't know. I just learned so much whenever we were involved in that first collab.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not anything more than what we're going over now and the step we're
No,
going to next week. You know what I'm saying?
no.
So, um, I think you just have to kind of psych yourself up to actually, first of all, do the collab. Second of all, know in your mind that people are going to say no and not to get butthurt about it. You
Right,
know, who knows? The next one they may do it. It doesn't
right,
mean, unless they say, I do not do collabs, I don't do them,
right.
then you can take them off your list. But, they may not be a spice person.
No.
They may be, a cake baker or
Yep.
whatever, so this may not be their cup of tea, and that's okay. And I think people
And
have to realize that.
and not being your cup of tea isn't necessarily that's not something they do. It may not be in their genre. I would not find it
Right.
odd that theoretically a fishing channel would be on board with doing a spice rub or a spice collaboration because they don't typically show those items on their channel. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean they won't get involved, and it doesn't mean that they don't use spices. It just means that that's not something that's highlighted on their channel. So it might be something that they'd be willing to jump into that they've not done before.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that too. So
Right. Because on the other end of it, when you get talked to about a collab, something that may not be in your genre, may people who do have, there's just like another one over there, just
that's
uh,
why.
pouncing around. So, um, but like for me, there's things that I'm not into, but I have done those collabs and met and subscribe to people that I would have never thought of subscribing because I was like, oh yeah, they do this too, and I really like this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
the coin is turned either way, you know.
Well, and I personally agree with what you just said because there's a lot of great channels I've met that I normally would not have joined into just going by genre, but I did follow
Right.
them in a collaboration that is not normal either for me or them, that has turned into a great relationship. And I think that's, to me,
Right.
that is so much the part of collaborations is
Mhm.
meeting new channels, meeting new people, getting like-minded people together that enjoy doing something, whatever that is. That's the benefit of a collaboration. To me,
Yeah.
it's not about views, it's not about likes, it's not about subscribers. It's meeting that person I wouldn't normally have met in a typical situation. So,
Right. And everybody is, even though some people are like-minded, this is totally off topic, but
okay, that's fine.
even though people even though people are like-minded, oh, you, everybody is still different in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to be careful judging a book by the outside, by the cover.
Mhm.
You have to really go in and look at whatever the whole aspect of it.
Right.
Okay, you know, just saying. I'm just saying.
And that works two ways.
Hmm.
That's maybe getting to know them a little better than you would have,
Hmm.
but it can also provide you some protection somewhere down the road if you maybe not would have seen the way they are
Right.
by watching videos or all of it. So,
Right.
Tiger 454 has joined us. Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
Um, oh, I want to make this announcement very public.
Time out. I'm glad I'm up here.
That's some funny stuff right there.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm upstairs.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's technically stairs.
there is. Yes, there is technically stairs.
Yes, there's technically
So,
stairs.
okay. So aside from those two things that we're going to talk about, Luna, stop. That we're going to talk about next week. Is there something pressing that you think needs to be put out there thus far, or do you think we'll get to it as we go?
I think it will come across as we go
Okay.
because something you may do next week is going to make me think or could possibly spark a question with me or with someone else.
Right.
If anybody in chat has any questions over what we have talked about so
That's what
far,
I was going to
then
say.
just put it in caps so that we can see,
Yeah.
something that maybe we missed or that y'all didn't understand. Because for someone who has done collabs, we just, it's like putting on your underwear. One foot in, the other foot in, and rise it up. Okay. So for us, a collaboration can be like that. Whereas for y'all who've never done one, might have a separate question than what we're going over. So,
Yes, I agree.
oh my
Um,
God, they're out. They are actually out. I will be right back.
so I wanted to take a second, and
Oh,
this is one of the reasons why we do this. Is Jamie's Country Living said this is informative. Thank you, Tony and Tiffany. We're trying to give everybody information that may not have it, may want it. There's some people that find it boring, and I get that. But
Look, y'all,
oh,
I'm
it
going to
looks
bring
like
my camera in really close. And I don't know if, Tony, I can't hear you, so can you see her? Look,
yeah.
there she is.
Oh, cool. Let me
She
get rid of
is so cute.
this. So Tiffany's got babies. Not her chickens have babies, I should say. I just want to check, see if there's anybody else.
It is so cool to see
That
life
is,
happen. I mean, not only with
yeah,
an animal, but when you take a seed and put it in the ground and it grows into whatever, tomatoes or whatever it is. But to see something like that is just, I have seen it many times and I still get this emotional
right.
whenever they first hatch out
Don't you cry. Don't you be crying on Kettle Kitchen, sister.
because you just don't know. Yeah, you just don't know if their little bodies are going to make it.
Right?
You know, they're coming through such a tough shell. You know, it's just, it's, I'm so glad one of them is out though. I'm
That is
so
cool. That is
excited.
awesome.
Oh, I'm a grandma again. Oh man.
Um, I don't see any questions from anybody. Jamie's Country Living said it's not boring at all. All I did was put it up that she thought it was very informative and thanked us for
Thank
doing it.
you.
So,
Yeah.
um, it is awesome and it is wonderful to see life grow, whether it's animal, plants, or anything. It's
I mean,
good.
it's just crazy.
It's good to
It's,
see the successes that we all try to aim towards, and when we can get those successes, small steps, big steps,
mm,
it becomes emotional because it's a process we're all working on. It's a process
yeah,
we're working towards.
yeah. Because they came a long way. I didn't think that they were going to, that she was going to be able to take care of them. But she's
Right,
doing good. She's got that one all cleaned up. So I guess she got
right.
her mind back. Because I've been having to hand feed her, but she won't drink no water.
Yeah. She might
So,
change now that this has happened. This may
yeah,
change things.
yeah.
Um, Dark Lord Menet said if someone finds learning boring, then they have a hollow head.
It is neat because you never know how far your channel is going to go. Even if
Right.
you're a very tiny channel, how far your channel is going to go, and you might want to do one day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
And I get the same feeling you do. I just talked to you about it before we started. I had
hmm,
tomato plants that were like this, and over the last
yeah,
few days, they're like this now, and it's awesome to see it
hmm,
happening. You know.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't know how many vegetables we've eaten out of Ginger's garden, patty pans, and you start them from a seed,
right.
from nothing, from nothing.
Yeah.
And
Except
some of them
a little
produce so
time,
much. Yes.
a little water, a little sun,
Yes.
and end result, you are producing an
Hmm.
effective part of your eating process that most
Yeah.
people take for granted.
Yeah. And it's
So,
crazy because it doesn't take much. I've
no,
watched um, Ginger with her garden and stuff like that because, it doesn't take a lot. I think you have to have that, you know, I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but you got to have that love for it and the
desire.
nurturing and all that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I've done decided Ginger doesn't have a garden anymore. Ginger has a small scale farm, so that's beside the point.
Yeah. There's a lot of tomato plants
Yeah,
out
I
there.
know. I can't wait until you guys get to start processing them. That's going to be fun to
Oh
watch.
my gosh. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at just about an hour, so I think we're done. Is there anything else you want to add before we sign off for the night?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Christine, hang tight, honey.
Yep.
Hang tight, because there's a whole bunch of collaborations coming. And
We are getting ready to move into that mode where
big
you
time.
watch out for December. That's all I got to tell anybody.
Yeah,
Watch out for December, okay? There
because
is a
it is
ton of
like
them.
crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy, you know. So, yep.
I think I figured it out the other day because somebody had asked how many. I think it was Christine, but I'm not positive. But somebody had asked the other day. Um, the you get overwhelmed at the number you get involved in if you get involved in a lot. What I didn't realize in the month of December alone, I think I was in 6 collaborations,
Mhm.
just 1 month.
Mhm.
That becomes very overwhelming. So when you're saying yes to all these people, make sure you have a calendar out so you can follow it
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
easily. Bert, I already said yes. I will take care of that. That's fine. I just haven't emailed you because I had talked to you in chat, so we're good.
Mhm.
Um, just checking real quick. I think would be good collab parties.
I don't think I would be good at
What? Why not?
participation,
I think
but
that's
love
what.
watching them.
Yeah,
No, you would be fine. Because
you'd
let
be
me tell you
fine.
something. If there was a collab out there right now that was from garden to table for you to make a dinner, you would be spot on. So you would go out to your garden and you would make, y'all something to eat. It's very
Right.
simple to do. You would enjoy it, I think. Yeah,
I
you
think
would
you
do
would
great.
too.
Mhm.
I watch you enough on Thursdays that I know that you would have fun with it just
Mhm.
watching you.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
she's making something, but her words got chopped off, so I didn't know quite what she was saying. Ginger said she would do great.
Mhm. Yeah, it's time to start setting up for fall too.
Yes. Yep. Christine
Is
is
it
starting her new channel.
is it going to be Christine Miss Gillum Farms?
Good question. Christine, I have fat fingers. You don't. I'm just waiting on an answer. I don't want to hop off and then
Yeah, what is the name of the channel? Yeah, new
I'm not
channel.
sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
454 says this. I
A
have a
peck of
peck of
peppers.
peppers to take care of tomorrow, plus setting up for the fall garden. And then I loved what Rena says. Pickled peppers?
Pickled
Would that be
peppers.
a peck of pickled peppers?
Mm-hmm. Or if they're jalapenos, jalapeno candy. Um, mm, yeah.
And finally, Christine says, probably my current name.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
all right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and say, have a great day. We have game night on Kettle Kitchen is coming back on Tuesday. So make sure you show up for that for the next installation. Smackdown.
Smackdown.
Jarred Up
Woo.
July is in full force. Make sure you go check it out. Hashtag Jarred Up
Mm,
July. Anything else we can throw out?
no. I don't know of any
I
other
love that.
collabs.
No.
What about Thursday nights?
Thursday night is the homestead hangout with the
Mm-hmm.
homies.
Yes.
That starts
Yes.
on Gillum Farms. Now I'm going by my time, so don't be offended. 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we move over to White Rock Homestead. 5 Pacific Standard Time, we move over to Muddin' for Nothing. Then at
Mm-hmm.
6 Pacific Standard Time, we go to Nine Acre Family Farms. I always want to separate those two because
Yeah.
of your guys' channel. Don't ask me why. And then I rounded up at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Kettle Kitchen. So
Yeah.
it's a great time.
Don't forget to go look at Christine's short, y'all. The
Yes.
Gillen Farms has got a short out there. They had a calf
Excuse me.
born on the 4th of July, and they're looking for a name. Okay.
I already
And
put 3 or 4 in there.
I only put one name. One name, and I like that name.
See, here we go. Tiger 454. This whole group of people are so inspiring. Love you all. And we
Good.
try to
We love
be
you
and
too.
want to be, and I'm glad that people are realizing it. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
All
you,
right.
Miss
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Thank you.
Thank you to
Thank you.
everybody in chat. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And remember, be safe. Think ahead. Meal prep with ease. And preserve. I'll save you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. All right,
Yes.
guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.